Hi there, it's Najana Peasant here, weight loss expert, personal trainer, and owner of Sentience Personal Training. And today I've got 3 simple rules to follow when losing weight. You're probably thinking, and I oftentimes feel the same way myself, is that you want to run as far away from rules as you possibly can. And rules are things that we don't want to follow, they're made to be broken, and all of that. Things that we've told ourselves from school days when there was way too many rules for us. However, when we're talking about weight loss and these 3 simple rules that I'm just about to share with you, what I've found is even in my business life and in my health and well-being as well, is that when you have some basic and simple rules, they're just like your code, your own personal code of conduct or your own ethics that you hold for yourself. And what those rules do is they allow you to just make better choices, or they remove choices from your daily life. And we do need to choose quite often. And I'll give you a simple one. It is a chocolate related one, and that is that if it's not good quality chocolate, I am not eating it. Or it may be not necessarily even high quality chocolate or expensive chocolate, it's just chocolate that I really enjoy. So if it's not that, then there's some Easter eggs lying around and they're not the best of quality. I'm not going to waste my calories and deteriorate my health eating that product. So that's just a basic rule that I follow myself. So let's dive into these 3 simple rules, and I think you'll find them quite surprising and quite empowering in terms of it really does take some choices away and makes life flow a lot smoother and a lot easier when you're trying to lose weight. So, rule number 1 is eat everything, overeat on no thing. And what I mean by that is that with your eat everything and overeat on no thing, we so what I mean by this eat everything and overeat on no thing is that I highly advocate healthy choices and always eating things that are very nutrient dense. However, there are going to be situations where you come across that the choices that you have aren't the best. Excuse me. So in those moments, this is where this rule really kicks in. So if you're faced with you're at a party and there's just fried finger food options or whatever it is, then still have it. Eat everything. However, do not overeat on anything. So just because it's there and it's available and you're thinking, well, I've mucked it up, I might as well just eat the whole lot, that is where you fall down. It isn't necessarily what you've just eaten, it's actually normally the quantities. So, with this rule here, is that when you're faced with choices that aren't ideal, that aren't the best, that aren't in the right combination, not to let that go and just sort of go, well, I might as well just consume a large quantity of it. The flip side of this rule also is that when you are eating healthy options, making sure that you're not overeating on them just because they are healthy. Because overeating, even on healthy choices, is going to still make it harder for you to lose weight, or the reverse, make you put on weight. So, this basic rule is you can eat everything that you want, ideally, day to day, and at your main meals, and predominantly, you want to be making those healthy choices. However, when you do get stuck into situations, or generally speaking, to eat, have a balanced lifestyle, you can actually eat everything. The problem is when we overeat on any type of food. So eat everything, overeat on no thing. So what do I mean by overeating? It's that feeling that when you get to the end of the meal, that feels something like, oh, that felt like that was just too much. That tightness in your tummy, that feeling of stuffiness in your body, that is a feeling that you should avoid at all costs. And helping clients on the weight loss journey, I will give that advice before I even look at what they're eating. Because regardless of whether it's good or bad options, if you are overeating, you are in a process of still putting on weight, or you're going to make it really hard for yourself to lose it. So eat everything, overeat on no thing. Rule number 2. Remove the I have stuffed it up philosophy. Now, I'll describe to you what that looks like. It sounds something like this. Okay, I've been so good. I've started my diet on the Monday. I'm working out. It's all going smoothly. And then you get faced with a situation and someone offers you a piece of cake and they're like, oh, one's not going to kill you, or a biscuit or whatever. Or you've just chosen to have something and it's Wednesday and you're just like, you've been so great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was all going well. And then you've had something that you feel is made you stuff it up. then it's like, well, I've stuffed it up. What's the point? I've wrecked today. Well, it's pretty close to the weekend. The weekend's coming up. I've got a few functions on. I might as well just stuff it up and do a really great job of it and get back on track on Monday or next week or whatever. So, so what you will find is the actions that you take after you feel like you've stuffed it up actually does more of the damage and puts on more weight than what that initial thing was that you felt you stuffed up. So it's not necessarily the chocolate biscuit or whatever you had, but it's that feeling that, oh, I've just wrecked it, so I might as well. It's that step there that actually will put on the 1 to 2 kilo of weight in a week. And that is one of the top things that you need to remove is that if you stuff it up, and we'll move on to step number 3, if you do stuff it up, that's okay. It really is fine. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you, lacking willpower. You just made a choice. And next time, empower yourself to choose better, but cut that off right there and then. So you haven't stuffed anything up and it's really okay. And your body will manage with eating a bit of junk. And basically, at the next available opportunity, you just get back on track. That is rule number 2. Remove the I have stuffed it up philosophy. So let's take a look at rule number 3. So, rule number 3 is get it back up and back on really quickly. I'm just about to show you a slide on what healthy weight loss actually looks like. So, this is some a section of stats from one of our clients who actually ended up losing about 20 kilos in total. So her chart started up here somewhere. But I've just taken a small section of it just to show you what this looks like. And firstly, let's define what healthy weight loss actually is. It's half a kilo to a kilo per week. Weight loss fluctuates. It is not this beautiful curve, this beautiful sort of angled line going straight down. This is what we find. Majority of our graphs from our Fit Clients software that we put in all of our fortnightly weigh and measures in for our clients shows us. So it's not a perfect downward slide. What we do find is that we have a drop, and these are sort of fortnightly measurements. Obviously, this was a bit of a gap in here. And this is over about a 16-week period. So you've got, that's a couple of weeks here, and you can probably guess that that was probably about the Christmas time. But this is what it looks like. We'll have a loss, and then we'll have another loss. It might go up a little bit, it might go sideways a little bit, it'll go back down and up a little bit and down a little bit. As long as we see that this trend is going down is really, really important. So what we do find though is that clients can get pretty discouraged at about this point if it goes up slightly, and that's where they can sort of derail and go, oh, this is just not working, or whatever it is. But that's the point, that is at your most powerful time, because that's the time where you need to sort of go, no, this is working, I can keep going with this, and just keep on going. Any form of success can probably be described, and changes can be described by this graph. I can tell you, if we sort of inverted this graph in terms of my business success, it wasn't this beautiful upward spike. It's been this a bit sideways, and I've stuffed it up and up again, and it's not how perfect the journey is, that matters, but it's how quickly you get back on when you have mucked it up and when you have had this period of Christmas time, just like this client has. So rule number 3 is all about when you have stuffed it up, as we said in the previous slide, make sure that you stand up really quick and you jump back on, the healthy bandwagon, and you jump back on to making healthy choices at your next available opportunity. So if you did have a poor choice for lunch or for afternoon snack, next available opportunity, which is the next meal, you're back on with it, making healthier choices. So your success in weight loss especially will be directly determined by how quickly you get back on. So some clients, as I mentioned before, if they've mucked something up on a Wednesday, they'll get back on Monday. Sometimes it will go for 2 weeks, sometimes it can go for 2 months. So if we have a look at this graph here, and if this client felt disappointed at this point in time, they could have carried on with whatever behavior it was that caused this about kilo gain, and just kept that up, and it just would have climbed and climbed and climbed and climbed. But they sort of got themselves back on track and had a bit of correction here, and then a really good couple of weeks of loss to follow. So the most important thing is that when you do make a choice that you're not super proud of, just jump back on and fight back hard, and the next available opportunity, you're back on the plan and exactly what you need to do. And it's not about how perfect you are and how right you get it. It's really just about how quickly you get back up. And as I said, like in terms of achieving success in my business, I didn't get it perfect the whole time, but what I have been is unrelenting in getting back on, trying something, and continuing to stick to the principles and trying to really cement the successful way of being that was going to give me the business results. And for you guys, it's no different. Once you receive the formula and you know exactly what you need to do, it's very much about getting back on as quickly as you can and not wallowing in that, oh, I've mucked it up, this is never going to happen for me, all of that sort of stuff. The second thing is that I did want to share about this graph is that if you are weighing yourself regularly, we do fortnightly weigh-ins. That's what these sort of little gaps here are. And I recommend that you do that, because if you're weighing under that, or even especially if you're weighing daily, if this was a daily graph, and say for example you were really great in your eating on this day, and then you weighed yourself the next day and there was an increase, that can really muck with people and feel like, oh well, what's the point, it's not happening for me. But what you don't realize is that the impact of that weight is probably being translated from something that you ate, or a different type of food that's held on to some water, or there's so many different reasons why the body fluctuates in weight on a day-to-day basis. So in order to get accurate measurements, make sure that you're doing it sort of once a week minimum, and definitely once every fortnight is a better way to go with it. So there you have it. They're the 3 rules to weight loss success. The first one is making sure that you can give yourself permission to eat everything. Don't be on a strict diet where you just have to give that and that and that and that up. Yes, move towards removing things out of your diet and predominantly eating healthy choices. But in those times where you do have something that's off the plan, that's okay. Just make sure you don't overeat on it. And that is the same with healthy food. Don't overeat on anything, because that's where a lot of the weight gain is. The second thing is completely removing that I've stuffed it up weight loss, I've stuffed it up philosophy. Make sure that you completely scrap that, and it just feels so free. Because if you happen to, as I said, choose an option that's off the plan, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. You're not a bad person. You're not a bad anything, really. You've just made a choice. And the next time, with your rule number 3, get back up and back on track quickly and choose better. So you've got an option in every single moment of the day, at every meal, at every time that you could or could not be doing activity. You just got an opportunity to choose. So the point really is that you're either choosing to get closer to your goals, or you're choosing to walk away from it in any given moment. So that's where your power lies, not in these emotions. So when you've got these rules in place, then you know that if you happen to muck it up, you've got no choice. There's your rule. Next available opportunity, you're back on. So I hope you have enjoyed that information. Please leave me a comment. I really love to read about your feedback and what you thought about it. Any questions that you want me to answer for future videos and blogs, please leave a comment. Thank you for listening.